Marcus from London, England. I'm sure you've heard the news that WWE has left Sky Sports to sign a new television deal with BT Sport, which is in fewer homes than Sky, but BT Sport is also the home to UFC programming. Do you see this as an upgrade or a downgrade for WWE? Because I see this as a major downgrade. Well, from everything I can gather, and all of you UK folks out there can chime in on this because you would know better than I would. I'm sure we have a lot of Sky subscribers and maybe even some BT Sport subscribers listening to this right now. But it sounds like a big step backwards for WWE. They're moving Raw and SmackDown from Sky Sports to BT Sport in the UK and in Ireland starting in January. And all of the pay-per-views will move to BT Sport box office. I would be curious to know how big of a deal that even is, because I would imagine that there's a lot of people who have the WWE network over there, but maybe it's different. You know, maybe there are still a lot of people watching on the pay-per-view channels over there. I don't know. We have a minimal number of people watching on pay-per-view here in this country. But that is what is migrating over to BT Sport. They've been with Sky now for decades. I mean, that goes back probably to the late 80s, early 90s, their relationship with Sky. I mean, I remember that Royal Albert Hall show, which was back in, 91. I'm pretty sure that aired on Sky or one of the Sky channels. So it at least goes back that far. Now, according to The Observer, Sky is in just over 8 million homes today, whereas BT Sport is only in about 2 million. But the fact is, you can look at those numbers and say, wow, what a big difference. But the fact is that WWE was already hemorrhaging viewers in the UK on Sky. So when I got this question, I was looking into it, and there was an article in Fighting Spirit magazine a couple of years ago. Somebody linked me to it that had the numbers to it, and it was really alarming to see. There was a time when WWE would regularly top 100,000 viewers or more for its live weekly Raw shows in the UK. But 2 years ago, there was one episode, I think it was in this month. It was in the month of June, so it would have been 2 years ago this month. There was one episode of Raw that only did about 18,000 live viewers, and that included people who recorded the show to watch later on. 18,000. Now, typically, I think these days the show hovers between about 20 and 40, maybe 50. I think it's between 20 and 40,000 viewers for the live airings on any given week. Keep in mind, this is a 3-hour show on Monday nights that airs live over there, which means it's 1 o'clock in the morning when Raw. So for all the complaining that we do, here we go, 3 hours of Raw. I live on the East Coast, so for me it's 8 p.m. And 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. is enough of a slog. But these folks in the UK, I mean, they're watching Raw at 1 o'clock in the morning. So you can't expect the live numbers to be that high. But they used to be. Hey, Raw aired pretty late back then too. And the numbers used to be a lot higher than they are now. They were back then, now they're not. And there is no evidence that all of those missing viewers have simply changed the way they watch the show and they're just watching it on a delay or on YouTube. I mean, some people are. But, I would say this to people. Stop making excuses for WWE. They have lost a shit ton of viewers, just as they have here in this country. And all of these people trying to make excuses for them, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. All of the people trying to make excuses for why WWE, they can't give tickets away to people for Stomping Grounds tonight. Just stop. Stop making excuses. The product is bad. You lose viewers because you have insulted your audience. And now they're moving to a network over there, or a network of stations with even less exposure than they had on Sky. BT Sport, they're also going to air a 2-hour version of Raw, a 1-hour version of Raw, and a 1-hour version of SmackDown across all of their various channels. Lucky bastards. A 1-hour version of Raw. Hey, sign me up. Can I get BT Sport over here in this country? I think you're going to have more people. Here's what I think. You're going to have more people who just don't watch. And they're going to start listening to podcasts like this one. to get caught up on Raw and SmackDown if they have to pay extra just to watch those shows. You'll have to pay extra for the BT Sport package above and beyond whatever you would already be paying for Sky, unless people just dump Sky en masse to sign up for BT Sport. But I sense that people wouldn't necessarily be so quick to do that. There may be other programming on Sky they don't want to get rid of. It's not just WWE. So I think this company may be in for a rude awakening when it comes to their UK audience. They may end up losing even more fans over this. They may be making more money. It may be a more lucrative contract. I don't know. That seems to be the only thing that matters anyway. Hey, we'll sacrifice a large chunk of our audience just to make more money now. Sure, hey, let's do it. But again, I welcome any feedback from my UK listeners. I mean, what do you think about this deal? And will you, if you don't already have BT Sport, will you pay for it just to watch WWE programming? I'd love to hear from you guys.